for 30 seconds of silent prayer, and then I would ask Councilman Hart to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman. Madam Clerk, will you take the roll?
Supervisor Mead.
Present.
Councilman Hart.
Present.
Councilman Gamble.
Present.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from September 9th work session.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the minutes from September the 9th, 2019.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the September 17th, 2019 bid opening for sidewalk replacement project.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor? Motion carried. Moving on to legal notices, proofs and publication of a posting of a legal notice of a public hearing to hear all persons interested in the use of federal community development funds in the town of West Seneca. I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Anyone from the public that has any input regarding the community development block club development funds, if you have any thoughts? Matthew, I know you have an opportunity, you chose a couple streets for this funding?
Well, right now, we're looking at the streets, some of the streets out between Main and Seneca.
Okay. We did look at rehabbing the front hall steps in front of Town Hall, but that just didn't qualify at this time, so. Other than that, is there anyone else, any board members have any thoughts regarding?
Yeah, I just, was wondering, which way on Main and Seneca?
Like Hillside, Hilldale, over by Pasquale's and stuff, the little cut-throughs that everybody uses.
Yeah, towards the high school. Just a question, are any of the streets on the east side of Main Street eligible for community development funds?
I'd have to check the map, but I don't believe so.
There are a couple of streets over that way that do need
Yeah.
quite a bit of work. So Walnut's one, trying to think of the others, there's several.
They're not in the zone. All right, Bill, anything?
Nothing.
Okay, so I'll make a motion then to close the public hearing.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Anyone have any comments regarding the communications 1 through 11? Okay, moving on, item number 1. It's the bid opening for the 2019 sidewalk replacement project. The town engineer has asked that we reject the bid due to the fact that we only received 1 bid.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor? Aye, motion
Just
carried.
The project itself then will go forward with a bid in early spring, so.
Yep.
We should be able to get more bidders and get it done.
Absolutely. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 2 is from Chief Dens. Kindly accept the resignation of Christopher Benendez as police officer effective Thursday, September 19th, and authorize the supervisor to complete and sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 3 is also from Chief Dens. Kindly move to terminate Justin Zelinski as Buildings and Grounds part-time laborer and appoint him as Public Safety Dispatcher part-time effective Friday, September 13th at a pay rate of $15 an hour, authorizing the supervisor to complete and sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 4 is also from Chief Dens. Kindly move to appoint Matthew Wazerski as Public Safety Dispatcher part-time effective Tuesday, September 24th, 2019, at a pay rate of $15 an hour, having the supervisor complete and sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Any,
Yes, on the question.
what?
Chief, could you give us a quick idea of what's required for this position?
So what we look for is somebody who has some type of dispatching experience, police experience, or fire experience. Most of our dispatchers are volunteer firemen. Mr. Zelinski had put himself through the police academy, and, but basically you need at least a high school education. We like to have college in there, and really good basis of using technology as far as computers, because our whole dispatching system is computer driven.
Thank you.
Item number 5 is from Mary Josephat, kindly change the status of Georgiana Bussey, part-time clerk typist for West Seneca Senior Center to part-time seasonal effective Tuesday, October 1st, 2019 to Tuesday, December 31st, authorizing the supervisor to sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 6 is also from Mary Josephat, her senior recreation director. Kindly change the status of Mary Ann Bello, part-time ceramics instructor for the West Seneca Senior Center, part-time seasonal effective Tuesday, October 1st, 2019 through Tuesday, December 31st, authorizing the supervisor to sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 7 is also from Mary Josephat. Kindly change the status of Carol Kennedy, part-time food service worker for West Seneca Senior Center to part-time seasonal, effective October 1st, 2019 to Friday, November 29th, authorizing the supervisor to sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Number 8 is from Lauren Massett, our recreation supervisor. Please allow the supervisor to execute the necessary documents to enter into an agreement with Joan Desbro, located at 171 Villa Avenue, Buffalo, New York, for the use of the West Seneca ice rink.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Item number 9 is also from Lauren Massett. Kindly move to approve the below listed recreation programs for the fall/winter 2019-2020 season. More information of this programming is attached. The West Seneca Youth Recreation reserves the right to cancel any program at any time without notice for any reason, including but not limited to weather, staffing levels, attendance levels. All program start dates are to be announced and contingent upon hiring the proper staffing levels.
Second.
Anything on the question?
Yeah, on the question, Lauren, one question, when we met last week, how are we doing, I kind of know, but how are we doing with the hiring and what are we at risk of if we don't get enough employees?
We are hiring 3 employees tonight, Elaine Corey for adult skate, as well as Gary and Allie for the youth gym. We do need 1 more youth gym attendant to start our evening programs. And then for the ice rink, we've ran 2 rounds of open interviews and we have had 0 applicants during those rounds.
So what are we at risk of, closing the ice rink? If we don't get enough employees to man the ice rink for the fall program?
As soon as we have enough applicants, we'll start open public skate. I wouldn't say that we're gonna close the ice rink. The start date may be delayed.
That's what I was asking, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Lauren. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 10 is also from Lauren Massett. Please appoint the attached list of individuals corresponding position at pay rates effective October 1st, 2019 through May 31st, 2020. These hires are contingent upon background, drug testing, and proof of physical as outlined in Town Code Chapter 25, and authorize the supervisor to complete and sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The next item is from Tina Hawthorne, our town attorney. Please see the attached municipal cooperation agreement with the school crossing guards for 2019 through 2020 school year. It is my advice that the town board adopt the attached resolution authorizing the supervisor to enter into the attached agreement.
Second.
Anything on the question?
Yes, on the question. We had had discussions in the past. Chief, maybe you could bring us up to date. We had considered eliminating these positions. The school crossing guards is paid for by the town taxpayers.
That is correct. We've had numerous discussions about whether we continue to fund that or to eliminate it. And we came to a point where there was a negotiated agreement between the school district and the town that we would share those services. The school board, under the education law, is, as oddly as this sounds, is not allowed to hire crossing guards. However, they can subcontract with the municipality to have the municipality supply the crossing guards. So that's the direction we went in. So the school is under our contractual agreement, is going to begin paying some of the stipend for the crossing guards.
Chief, if I'm correct, September through December, the school is paying for the full freight. We're approving the hiring of 8 crossing guards. The school is gonna pay full fare from September through December, and January through the end of the year, we pay for half the crossing guards and the school pays the other half.
That's correct.
Thank you.
It is, it's in the contract. Okay, very good.
Thank you, Councilman, thank you, Chief Dens and Councilman Hart, for that information and the hard work that you put together, Tina. Nice work, thank you so much. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I'd like to accept the reports from Jeffrey Schieber, Code Enforcement Officer, Building and Plumbing reports for August 2019.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the warrant?
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We're talking about the schools. It should be noted that the governor has passed some legislation that he's asking municipalities to pay for the armed cameras on the school buses. Some of the school buses currently in the town of West Seneca have those cameras. There's about 75 school buses owned by the school district. So we're going to have to incorporate that in our budget this year, which I talked to Matthew Bystrack. He's our school superintendent. We've had a couple of conversations back and forth. So budget hearing is on October the 7th. So we're going to have to put some monies aside. We're going to have to set up a line for that too, Chief, because the viewing of that video will be done by the police department, not the school district. Another unfunded mandate. But we're looking about $450 a bus. So just so everybody knows that.
About $450 for how many buses?
72. Okay, so now we're just gonna move on to the public. Does anyone from the public have any comments? You can come on up. Hello, Mr. Manley, how are you tonight?
Good.
No, go ahead.
Sure.
It'll take us longer.
Okay, just to get up here?
That was
You guys got jokes?
I'm older than her anyways.
All right.
Good evening. Jim Manley, 126 Larkwood. I just want our residents to know that we are taking orders, the Veterans Committee is taking orders for bricks for our Walkway of Freedom. We're taking orders until February 15th, 2020. The forms are available at the library, town clerk's office, post 735, and online at wsvets.org. And I want everybody to know that the committee is putting the computer in the Veterans Annex, which is located behind Spot Coffee. And on that computer, we're going to place our electronic index. So if anybody needs to find a brick, they just go in and they can do a search. And we're gonna be putting a lot of other stuff on there, but that'll come later. I just wanna let you know about the bricks and the computer. Thank you. Oh, one other thing. Tina, have you had any discussions with St. Matthews in regards to World War I and World War II monuments?
I did, and we exchanged some emails about that. I actually spoke to the president of the cemeteries, and he basically said, whatever you want. So from here, it's just a matter of setting up the transfer.
And Mr. Hart, I can count on your support on that?
Oh, yes. The one question that, you and I have talked about the howitzer itself, and I wonder if the howitzer should remain over there because it's, the contractor that took a look at it for me was concerned about the condition and how that would be moved when we might have damage to it. I also don't know that if we prepared a space for the howitzer.
Not yet. That's, I'm going to be meeting with Mr. English during the week.
So-
That's a World War I cannon. We do have a World War II howitzer that we're going to put in the park. So as far as I'm concerned, if that one stays over there, That's up to the town board to decide, because
Yeah, that might be a good thank you to the cemetery for taking care of these monuments and also being cooperative in moving the World War I and World War II, which I think belong in front of town hall.
The last
So-
piece of that, Councilman Hart, was the flagpole, and I think you agreed that that would stay because they were concerned about the damage it would do to take it out.
right, the flagpole should stay there so the flag can wave over our departed veterans. Yes.
So possibly in our conversations with them, we'll talk about the howitzer. We've already, I think, pretty much determined the flag will stay.
Yeah, and they're willing to keep the howitzer there as well as the flagpole.
They use it in their advertising.
Well, and they talked about some events that they have and the fact that there's a lot of veterans buried there and all that stuff, so they know that's important to some of the people who come to visit those graves.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Manley, for all you do.
We're from the Union Square Senior Center at French and Union, where Benderson is making a mess. Part of that belongs to Cheektowaga, part of it belongs to West Seneca. The West Seneca part, where you drive into Save-A-Lot, they have put up all kinds of barriers. It's very hard to get in and out of there. And the we have an awful lot of, the last police officer that was there said this is an accident waiting to happen. I don't know how he got permission to do construction there, but it's awful. The town needs to take a look at it. I don't know, we don't know who does that, building or.
So I would suggest it be a collaborative effort with, we have Jeff Baska here from our code enforcement office. He can take a look at that tomorrow. And Chief Dens, he can send one of his officers over after Jeff Baska does a walkthrough.
His officers have been there, they're at our building quite a
Well,
bit.
Jeff would make the recommendations.
It is, when you pull in, there are curbs everywhere. They're all older people coming in and out. I drive the senior van, it's very tough to get it in or out. The people at Save-A-Lot, their business has gone way down because people don't want to go in there.
I can't figure out how to get in and out.
Thank you. And the ambulances can't get in and out of there.
It's like this. It's
It's
no
So that project, just so you know, that project was a Cheektowaga project. Okay,
Except
so
that,
what they're doing is,
that's over there.
right, but that wasn't our oversight, but now that you've
No,
brought it
it
to our
isn't.
attention,
No, I
we will
realize that.
definitely take a look at it and let Mr. Benderson and his gang know that this is, unacceptable and it's,
Thank you.
it's a public safety issue.
Oh, it
But
is.
Jeffrey, that's where his expertise are, and he'll go over there and take a look at it.
Now that we know who,
But
yes.
we'd like to have your phone number so we could get back in touch with you and then you can tell the rest of your group.
When you're done, if you want, I have a few
I'll get with
pictures
you
on
after the
my
meeting.
phone that.
I'll get your number, we'll talk.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Sure.
Thank you,
Thank
ladies.
you.
Thank you so much
I
for
brought it
stopping.
along.
Yes, I see that. That's wonderful. Team effort.
Yes,
It's beautiful.
thank you for.
Anyone further?
I agree, I live right around the corner.
Oh,
I'm Carol Geis. I'm from 47 Mayfield Drive in the Birchfield Patio Homes. It was my understanding that back in August, everyone unanimously approved the trash pickup for our community. And I guess there's been a lot of misinformation, so I'm trying to really straighten out what it is and where we're going with that.
I will give you the information. So the opportunity for the change of being condo to a association happened in the assessor's office. Those numbers take effect, if you will. That tax change in your taxes takes effect in January of 2020. So you'll be paying then, not now. For whatever reason, some people thought they were gonna get their garbage totes now because they paid their taxes. You just paid your school taxes, you didn't pay your property taxes.
Yeah, we've always been paying garbage taxes. It's always listed in our bills.
It's part of your association. That's not the town.
No, it's part of the town. And in my town taxes, there's actually a line that says for garbage pickup. That's already been in there since I've been.
Well, I will
since
take a
I've
look
been
at
back.
what you're referring to, but as far as us now taking on the association's garbage pickup, it's
Got it.
going to take place in January of 2020.
Okay.
The totes will be ordered and they will be delivered upon payment of property taxes. And that's how we did it throughout the town. We just go into the neighborhoods and we drop the totes off. You get a large 95-gallon and you get a 65-gallon. That's how it works.
Okay, and I guess that was my question, because we're an older community and they have difficulties in moving the huge ones out.
Again,
And I didn't know if that was something I could work out with Mr. English,
no.
or
That's,
if,
we had that issue when we first started the garbage totes. Nobody wanted them. They wanted big. They wanted the little ones. That everyone got the same. We have, we're 58% of senior community here too. We didn't do it that way. I know, Matt, at one point, didn't we change the lids?
No, we'll exchange it, but what we do is we give them to everybody first.
Yes.
We'll give everybody their totes, and then we'll let it go a month or so, and then if you wanna exchange for a smaller one, you can.
okay, I was just trying to be proactive and
Sure.
save the town a little bit of money and getting the larger totes when the majority of us would prefer the smaller ones. So,
It's not about cost savings or time savings. It's about we have to do it uniformly,
Got
and
it.
then we can pull it back in, because even though we take your tote, somebody else will use that tote eventually.
okay, all right, so so when I go back to my community, because I'm not here as part of the board, I'm just here as a part of all of my neighbors and trying to figure out where it's at, because we've had a lot of mixed up information on where we're at in this stage. I didn't just want to get lost in the transitioning of political statuses. So I guess I was going to ask Tina where you were in the process, because I know all the forms. My original understanding was that all the forms were already sent to the communities.
There are no
Done.
forms.
There is no documentation for you to come on to be able to come onto our
No,
property?
it's, the process is, and the town attorney we're currently working on it. We told Mike Harmon to tell his people this, but the process is an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, or an MOA of agreement, that the town vehicles will be coming into those neighborhoods. That language hasn't been worked out. It's nothing you will see. It will be worked out with your association, so your association will share that with you. But that's something we're currently working out, so that the next board doesn't walk in here on January 1st and they have to deal with this, which we're doing our due diligence to help them to make a smooth transition. Because it doesn't happen until January of 2020.
Either way, okay, so it doesn't
But it's
matter,
incumbent upon us that we take that task on, so it relieves the burden from the future board. And it also compensates the taxpayers in those neighborhoods.
okay, I think that answered my question.
Can you repeat your address for me?
47 Mayfield Drive,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks so much for stopping. And feel free to call our office.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, great. Anyone further? Okay, Chief, do you have anything for us tonight?
I'd ask for executive session to discuss 2 personnel matters, please.
Very good. Jeff Baska, do you have anything for us?
I do not.
Jacqueline Felser, do you have anything for us? Lauren Massett, do you have anything for us?
Just one item, I want to remind the public that we do have open interviews this Wednesday, September 25th, 2019, from 3 to 4 p.m. For several part-time positions needed for fall and winter programming. Interviews will be held in the youth gym, and more information can be found online. Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, Lauren, you're doing a great job. Tina Hawthorne, our town attorney, do you have anything for us?
Yes, I would like to request a public hearing for October 21st on local law. It'll probably end up being local law number 5 on the tax cap override.
Very good. Jacqueline, could you make those arrangements? Thank you very much, Town Clerk Jacqueline Felser. Jean Hart, do you have anything for us?
No, I do not.
Very good. Councilman Hanley, do you have anything for us?
One thing, Kate Lockhart from the Western New York Law Center will be here November 4th at 3 p.m. to give us an update on what the Western New York Law Center has done for the town regarding zombie homes. So November 4th, 3 p.m., Kate Lockhart from the Western New York Law Center will be here.
Thank you, Bill Henley, and I want to thank you for taking on that task. I've been doing the zombie homes since 2012, and since I will be leaving, I have asked Bill to take on that task of representing the town, and it should be noted that we were well over 100 homes that were in the zombie situation, and we're down to about 23, so. Jackie's dying to tell me something, I'm not sure what.
Tina, did you not get John Manier's email with the revised ethics code?
No, I did not, but does he want me to request a public hearing?
Wanted you to present it tonight and request the public hearing.
Okay, I didn't get that email, so I can request the public hearing, but if I have to present it, then I'll have to do it next time.
Okay, we'll present on the 7th.
I saw an email, but it came in after the agenda items were due.
That's fine. We can do it, announce it at the next meeting and then have it following that. That sounds great. All right. Well, for all those men and women who have served this great country, we thank you. And I would like to make a motion to go into an executive session over 2 employee issues in the police union.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Okay, good night, everyone. Have a great week.